Hey everybody, it's Jessie Mundell here from JMG Fitness. And if you're new to me, I am a pre and postnatal exercise specialist. And I wanted to answer a question for you that I just got in from a reader. And she's doing my Core Plus Floor Restore program, which is for postpartum women who are regaining strength and function of their abdominals, pelvic floor, glutes. They're fixing their alignment and posture, and they're working on these really key things to be able to feel strong and supportive in their core and to be able to return to exercise safely and strongly. So her question was, I'm doing these great exercises, 10 minutes a day for the next 8 weeks, but what do I do the rest of the day and in my daily life to make sure that I'm keeping those progressions happening? So I'm not just doing 10 minutes of exercise a day, but I'm making sure in my daily life and in my workouts that I'm really tuning into what my core and floor is doing to be able to have the most optimal progress. So I love this question. It's one that people ask often, and I wanted to answer it for you here right now so that you can understand the answer as well. So here's the thing. We do our exercises, which is great. We do our workouts, fantastic. But what we do the rest of the day really matters too. So a few key things to keep in mind throughout your day for a strong and well-functioning core and pelvic floor. You do not want to be holding your belly in tight all day long. So you don't want to do that belly button to spine thing that we are often cued in exercise. So you don't want to actively draw your belly button in tight towards your spine and hold it there for long periods of time during the day. We need to be able to release and relax tension in our abdominals, so letting our belly to actually relax, which can be really difficult and tough to do, especially if for years and years we have held it in tightly, and as women that is something that does happen a lot. So the first thing I need you to try to do is rest and relax your belly. This doesn't mean that you're pushing or bulging your belly out. It just means that you are not actively squeezing it and drawing it in. So let your belly relax. And this can be really useful by just taking some nice deep breaths and allowing your belly to expand and relax on that inhale. And on your exhale, don't force the exhale out and draw your belly in. Just allow the exhale to come naturally. Breathe all your air out and then go back to your inhale. Let your belly and your ribcage expand. Nice soft exhale again. So I would practice that first. Let your belly relax and notice in your daily life, if you're wearing a tight shirt or dress, are you holding your belly in? Are you squeezing it in tightly? That can cause some real disruptions in our pelvic floor and our core, our breathing mechanics, our digestion. So really just let it go. Let it go. So the other thing to notice is your alignment in your daily life. So I talk about this as the rib cage being stacked over top of the pelvis, or ribs over hips. So the first person I heard say this was actually a gymnastics coach of mine back many years ago. And this position is so key in sport, exercise, but also in daily life to have optimal function of the core and pelvic floor. So your rib cage is stacked over top of your pelvis for good alignment. So I know in myself and a lot of the women that I coach in the To Pregnancy and Beyond Club, we tend to be rib thrusters. So we're thrusting our rib cage upwards towards the ceiling a lot of our day. So take note of that. When you're exercising, when you're lifting your babies, your kids, your groceries, the heavy dog food in the back of the car, are you thrusting your rib cage up and are you stuck in that position for a lot of the day? I want you to try to almost think about dropping your rib cage down slightly. You're almost going to feel like the front of your rib cage comes down into your upper abdominals. So ribs to abdominals. That's what you're going to think, because we have to get stacked ribs over hips to get our diaphragm over top of our pelvic floor. And when we do that, diaphragm stacked over the floor, we have this really cool system that happens with our breathing and our diaphragm, our pelvic floor, and the abdominal and spinal muscles surrounding it that works to keep our muscles in good tension throughout the day. So you don't need to think about engaging your abdominals when you're walking down the street. If we're in good alignment, those processes are just going to happen for us. Now, if I go to do a heavy deadlift off the floor, I am going to have to think about pre-activating my core and floor before I do that heavy lift. But if I'm just walking up the stairs, I should just be able to breathe normally, make sure I'm in good alignment, and walk up the stairs and have my core and floor support me through that. So the intensity of the exercise and the activation of your core and floor will be dependent on what you are doing. So let's just recap. No belly button to spine throughout your day. So allowing your belly to relax, and that's going to help reset and rebalance the tension that you're carrying in the pelvic floor and core. Of course, we do want some tension, but remember, it's dependent on the load and the intensity of the exercise that we are doing. So different if I am just washing dishes at the sink, which never really happens, or if I am picking my baby up off the floor, I'm going to have more engagement of my core and pelvic floor that happens because I'm under load. So I hope that helps to answer your question. So making sure that we have great form in exercise, absolutely, but also that we are carrying these principles over to our daily life to help us rehab and recover, retrain our core and pelvic floor muscles. So if you have any more questions, just let me know, and I would be happy to answer them for you. And hopefully we can all help each other figure out and support each other through this process of healing the core and floor, which I know can seem a little bit confusing at first, but if you just have those basic principles in mind, the alignment, your breath work, you are going to be just fine. Okay, so again, Jessie Mundell, JMG Fitness. You can find more information at jessiemundell.com.